Hello. Welcome back if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe, or like, comment, and subscribe. Just a like and a subscribe would be nice. A comment. I know, like, I watch YouTube on my TV, so I can't really comment, but I do go and like the videos when I watch them because it helps with the algorithm for more people to see it. So just wanted to give you an update on what I've been working on, what I've been focusing my time on, and things like that. So part of my time has been focused on the fact that it snowed here. And so it's just been having fun with my daughter. She's a senior, so spending some time with her while we've been having these snow days. I did so much work. I did the whole contrasting color on I think I have one more row before I can add color number 4, but I have wound color number 4. I have started, and I'm done with one fingerless mitt for the Winnie the Pooh set. So it is called Blur, and it is really nice. I really like the way that she did it, where the colors sort of blend and stuff together. But I did not do it that way. She does tell you how to do it. I'm assuming it's a she. Let me look. Possibly. Lee Meredith, tells you how in the pattern to make it do the effect where it blends from one color to the next. But this is I'm done with one, and I'm going to put it on so you can see. It's very stretchy. This is the top. I've not weaved in any ends or done any finishing work. I wanted it very tall, but I did not want to do a thumb. So that's the reason why I went with the largest size. So this is 48 stitches. I also bound off the 11 stitches and then recast them on. I used a knitted cast on to cast them on. I had to restart this 3 times for no fault of the pattern, for me not paying attention and doing whole rows that were wrong, because it is a 2 pattern repeat and I would get the pattern out of order. So just because I wasn't paying attention. So, but I did restart them. So this is fingerless mitts to match my Giddy Yarns Winnie the Pooh minis set. So I did have to ball up and use a new skein of Pooh sticks because the hat, the cowl, and the mitts are all held with her. This has the main color Pooh sticks, and I will give you the information. It is 464 yards per 100 grams, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. Here is her website, email, Instagram, if you want to go buy some. January the 18th is Winnie the Pooh Day, and so she will have a shop update on that date of her Winnie the Pooh collection. She has gorgeous collection. She has Beatrix Potter collection, Winnie the Pooh, Lord of the Rings, Matilda. Her Matilda is very pretty. She does colors of the month. It's just a great yarn dyer. The yarn is lovely, as you can see. But so I have one full mitt completed, and I'm about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch started on my second mitt. So I had to do a new skein of Pooh sticks. This is what I have left of Kangaroo. I had to ball up the second set of minis that I had. This is Squirrel Nugkin because at the time she didn't have a Tigger when I started all this. Now she does. It's called Tigger's Don't Climb Trees, but it's not very orangey. But she uses the inspiration from like the old book, so the colors aren't the same as the Winnie the Pooh. Has the Disney colors. So this is Rabbit. This is what I have left. I'm just going to use this up. I'm not going to use my other skein. This is Eeyore. And I'm just going to use what's left. This is Piglet. And this is Pooh. And Pooh and Tigger are close, I guess, considering what I used for Tigger, but I do separate them quite a bit when I'm knitting this up. So it works for me. They look very good together and it makes me happy. If I buy, so I'm supposed to be having a no spend January, and I've done good so far. I have not purchased anything for myself. So just paying on bills that, you know, random Christmas presents and things like that. So, so I've done well, but then she posted about her Winnie the Pooh day, and I had forgotten about it. So, I'm like, oh, but I really want another set of minis. So I may, buy a set of minis or two, and then another skein of Pooh sticks. I do have, another skein of Pooh sticks with sparkle. And I have like 2 or 3 skeins of kangaroo with Stellina with the sparkle. I'm thinking I want to make a sweater with that, so I'm thinking I may need to buy another skein of kangaroo and one more skein of sparkle Pooh sticks. And so it might make the postage worth it if I buy that plus another set of minis. And then I'll have to look and see what her Beatrix Potter, what she has of that, what I have and don't have. I had all the original colorways because I was a member of that monthly subscription club. So I got all of the original colors, but she's dyed some new colors. I've done some rearranging over here because we got a printer, so I had to find a place to put it. And just stacking things differently and rearranging and trying to make sure all my bins are full. So in the process of that, I found an unfinished project. So this was knit on that Centro knitting machine. It is a worsted weight. I think it's a Karen Cakes. It's a really nice sturdy yarn. It's a fun color. It's a rainbow color. And then, I don't know if you can see, but in all the colors, there's like specks of red in all of them. So it's a really fun colorway. It was just a tube, and then I did like a slip stitch bind off. I didn't do the best job because the inside isn't wonderful, but it is like a Mobius scarf. Pretty sure it's Mobius, yep. And so, but it's good and thick and warm, and so considering it did snow here, not sure who's going to wear it yet. Not sure who it's going to end up living with. But we will see. It'll go to a good home somewhere. The room, and she's stealing things, and I think she's going to write a message. Probably going to tell me dinner is ready. Oh, nope, it's not dinner is ready. That ink pen should work. But it can't wait, obviously. So, but yeah, that's the at least mindset. And I was gonna share a tip with you. So because a lot of my yarn, some of it's come from festivals, but some of it has come from other people's stashes where I've bought it from eBay or Mercari, or at D-stashes at festivals. Like there have been D-stashes. Sometimes I've found stuff at thrift stores. I'm going to share this tip with you. I can't read that. Oh, one big can, because there's a big can, and so one big can, 2 small cans. So there's small cans of kidney beans and big cans of pinto beans. So 2 small kidney, 1 large pinto beans. That's the bean mixture that I put into the chili. Just in case you want to know. I buy it's something false alarm chili. It's available on Amazon. You can buy it by the case. Walmart used to carry it, but they stopped. So I now buy it on Amazon by the case. It's like a seasoning mix. It just divides it up. So you use 2 pounds of ground beef, all of these little seasoning packets, 2 cans of tomato sauce, and then if you want to, you can add beans. I like beans. Other people don't like beans. But I use the large Bush's chili beans, 1 pinto, 2 kidney, and everybody seems to like it better than when I was just using pinto. There, in case you wanted to know about food. Back to yarn. So when I buy yarn from someone else's stash or from a source, and actually I've seen yarn like this in yarn stores. There was a yarn store that was going out of business that I was like, I had never seen yarn eaten by a moth before. I was thinking that it would, you know, I really never thought about it until I picked up a skein of yarn at a yarn store. And, I mean, you had to think their door opens and closes too, constantly. And I was like, is there something wrong with this yarn? Because I picked it up and in the middle, it was a skein. And in the middle of the row, there were 2 ends. And it was done multiple times that way. Like you could see where it had happened multiple times. The owner was said something about what type of yarns that the moths always get. She went and got a plastic bag, a Ziploc bag, and put them in it and was like, you can have it if you want it. It's free. Because she was going out of business anyway. I did take the yarn. But she didn't even tell me that it was moths. She was like, oh, but I did not, like, it stayed in the Ziploc bag forever. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know why she put it in the Ziploc bag. And I know you're like, oh, you're so silly. You didn't know. I didn't realize it. Okay. It happens. But now that I'm older, I'm not even going to say I'm older. It's not even about older. It's about hearing more horror stories about people getting moths in their stash and things like that, and having to bring out all their stash and clean out their stash, and that they lost a whole bunch of it, that I'm very mindful and protective of my yarn stash. My fabric is all cotton. It's not wool. But moths will still eat, you know, holes. But so I was at a talk with a, matter of fact, at last year's Eureka Fiber Festival, and there was a talk after the Friday night event from a fiber historian. And so she collects a lot of wool cloth, a lot of old wool items. And at the end, there was time for Q&A. And so I asked her, because she was talking about natural dyes and all of that during her presentation, and how they used them, and how she preserved, you know, how things are protected and preserved in museums. But I asked her about mitigating the risk when you do bring new yarn into your yarn stash, and it may be from a thrift store or eBay or Macari or an estate sale, or even some people destash on Ravelry, buying it on Ravelry, buying it. Some people set up, like if someone passes away and they have their yarn stash, some people set up at a festival and sell that person's yarn stash. So what I do, and what she did recommend doing, is you put it in the freezer for 2 weeks. So the yarn one has to be dry. You don't want to put wet yarn in the freezer. The yarn has to be dry. So then I put mine in a Ziploc bag. I don't take the air out of it, but I do put it in a Ziploc bag just to protect it from the other smells and stuff in the freezer. Yes, I have baking soda in my freezer, but it just protects it. So I put it in there for 2 weeks. And I know that seems like a long time, but I put it in there for 2 weeks. She said to then bring it out and put it in the sunlight for 2 weeks, and then place it back into the freezer for another 2 weeks. And that will not get rid of everything if there is something on there. That will just make it more noticeable, and it will mitigate some of the risk of bringing that new yarn from someone else's stash into your stash, or from a thrift store, or, you know, it just yarn that you don't know where it has been. And I don't think we talk about that enough in the fiber world. Like, I've heard of people getting moss and things like that, and that they go through their whole stash and they do things with it. I think Phoenix Knitting Stories has mentioned that she'll, you know, move hers around and take some of it outside when it's super cold. Things like that. There's these zipper cube bags from Amazon. Please no, I have no affiliate links or anything like that. Nothing. Zip. But I will show them to you, and I'll look and see if I can find them and link them below if you want to use them. But you don't want to even leave things airtight forever. You want to unzip and move around, because one, you got to have airflow around it, or it can develop mold or dry rot. Two, you have to keep pests out of it. So I do have a lot of wax melts in this room. So not that they're owned. Like, I do not have a wax melter that is owned, but I have a lot of wax melts that are still in the boxes. And so I open them up and set 2 and 3 in the closet that are open. In all the cabinets and things, there is wax melts in there that can't touch the yarn, but they're in there. So when you open it, you're hit with a very strong smell, because moths do not like strong smells. I do have some of the organic moth away bags that I do stick in the cabinets at the door. The goal is to just keep this room having a strong smell, so that insects are just naturally deterred and would not come in this room. And then I move my yarn around, I play with it, I take it out. But that is just a tip that I have done for a long time, and so far, knock on wood, it has saved my yarn stash. So let's hope that it stays that way. Other goals for this year are to use as much of my stash as possible. So I want to knit a pair of pants or crochet a pair of pants. I don't care which one I do. Finish Knitting Stories did the I think they're marled pants. I also think there's a marled sweater pattern. I have bought that pattern, the pants pattern. I'm not sure if I bought the sweater or not. And she made those, and then she knitted this big black sweater to go over it. I like those. Not sure if I have enough of one solid color yarn to knit those, and would I want the ones that are that tight, because I watched another lady organize her yarn stash today, and she showed us her pants, and she's like, I want to make another pair of these, and they were loose, like jogging pants. So I'm gonna go and look and see if I can find that pattern and see what type of yarn it uses, how many strands, because I have a lot of fingering weight yarn, so how many strands I would have to hold together. So, because my thought is, I did buy a lot of Hobby Lobby yarn when they had their sale. This is not last year's sale. I think this is last year's sale, and this is 2 years ago, because they're the same price. But this is their decay, and this is their fingering. So I've already said this color is not the best color. So I could over dye it to another color, and then I could hold it double and make a marled effect with enough of one color and then another color. But if it's fingering weight, like if it's DK, the pants, because I think they are DK, I couldn't use a solid green. But I do have some other colors that are that I could over dye to a darker color. There was a peachy color that just had some specks of gray in it that I could dye to. Obviously I can't dye dark gray. I can dye black, because last time I tried to dye dark gray, I got black. So So I could dye them a darker color and then use only one of the other colors to knit them and then knit a matching sweater. I could use all my scraps because I have a lot of scraps, but I'm not sure where I put them. Because they are not in any of the totes that are back there, are here. These are all full skeins of yarn. So I'm really not sure what I do with my scraps. I have mini skeins and then teeny tiny balls of scraps on top of my yarn cabinet. So I think I put my scraps in a Tupperware, I say Tupperware box, but in a plastic tote, and probably put them in the top of the closet where I obviously couldn't get them. But I don't understand why I did that, because I love knitting DK that is 2 strands of fingering weight held together. So I don't know why I would do that. But I have to find all of it, because I want to make that Battenberg blanket. I want to try to crochet that, and that's all fingering weight scraps. I am currently, when I do my Giddy Yarns, I think it's called Winter Frost Shawl that I've shown you in the past, I haven't done anything with. When I get to the end of those colors, I put them to the side so that I can start knitting little bitty granny squares. I may do the granny stripe blanket just in case, because I'm not completely sure I can crochet that many teeny tiny squares, and that then I could join them all together in a way that doesn't end up looking like that cow where it's all bunched at one side, because I'm not an experienced crocheter. I've only been crocheting a few months, and it's been more plushies than anything else. I cannot memorize a granny square pattern for some reason. So I have to watch a YouTube video every time I crochet one. So it may end up just being like a granny stripe blanket. In the long run, that'd probably be the wisest thing. And that would use up probably all my scraps and things. I have a whole bunch of minis, but I love them all, and I don't know why. I just never knit with them. I just look at them. Just like my hand spun. I have hand spun in containers that you can't see, but up there, I'll take a picture and show you the containers. I have a big, huge container of buttons, and then little containers of super scrap yarn, which is just like little pieces like this, where I keep those. People sometimes use them to stuff their amigurumi, you know, like stuff it in with the other stuff. I have seen people that do like the magic balls, where they use little pieces like this and then just knit something or crochet something. So we'll see what I end up doing with those at the end. Right now, they just look really pretty in those little containers. And I'll also share a picture of the little plastic zipper containers that I have my yarn in that's in the cabinet. I used to have all of my yarn in both cabinets in these containers, but then I just decided not to. But I do about once a year, sometimes more, but once a year has a part of it. I take all the yarn out of all the places and rearrange it all. Because right now, most of my yarn is put together by dyer. And later I'll go like, oh, I want it by weight, and is it sparkly or not? And you know, everybody rearranges and changes the way they organize things. So I'll do that at some point. The time has almost come to do that. So I'll do that probably before I go to the spinning retreat. Then that way, if there's something that I don't love quite as much as I did, I can take it with me. And yeah, so that is about it. It is a cold, snowy, wonderful day here where I am. But it's been a great day, and tomorrow is a great day for a great day. Thank you, and if you haven't already, please subscribe and like. Thank you for watching. I know this has been a long one.